A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We open our knowledge sessions with a bold and visionary theme, Vision 2047, Unleashing India's Potential Towards Viksit Bharat. As India strides towards the centenary of independence, this session spotlights the pivotal role of our sector in shaping the nation's next era of growth, prosperity, and global leadership. To moderate this prestigious session, please join me in welcoming Ms. Shri Shantanu Bhatkamkarji. I request Mr. Shantanu Bhatkamkar to kindly come on stage. Mr. Shantanu Bhatkamkar is the MD of ATC Global Logistics Private Limited, custom broker, freight forwarder, and multimodal transport operator. Sir is also the chairman of ASSOCHAM Western India region. Sir has been the immediate past president of Association of Multimodal Transport Operators in India. He has been the past chairman and advisor for our FFI as well as the international body, the IFCBA. Sir is a great contributor of knowledge to our association. He is part of many government bodies with regards to shipping, logistics, and skilling. We are great to have you here, sir. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to call on stage all the panelists for today's session. May I request Dr. Sudhir Kohakade, IRS, Deputy DG Shipping, to kindly come on stage, sir. Sir is an MBBS, handles various portfolios like public grievances, CP Gram, RTI, MTO branch, as well as STCW board for training. Sir has participated in various e-governance and time release studies, as well as with WCO and IMOs. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to call Mr. Unmesh Wagh, IRS, Chairman of Jawaharlal Nehru Port Authority and Chairman and MD of Vadhavan Port Project Limited. Sir is the man driving India's biggest container port, having more than 7 million TEUs in the last year and expanded capacity to 10 million and building the world's top 12 ports now, that is the Vadhavan.
What inspires more is an attentive audience, and thanks for being here in numbers. So, fellow delegates and all the visionaries on the dais, Mr. Unmesh Wagh, I think he has the biggest portfolio I have ever seen, biggest responsibilities of port development. That's the kind of trust the government has posed in him. And our own Sudhir Kohakade, he is now responsible for multimodal transport. So we have a dual relationship with you. And our SRO Moose. Then one more celebrity with us is Turgut. Turgut is president of FIATA, which is the largest body of transportation and logistics in the world. So he brings worldview to us. And a visionary, again, the founder of Vande Bharat, Sudhanshuji, welcome. Nice to have you here. So this is a session for visionaries, by the visionaries over here. We are going to take shot in the dark, which is what's 22 years ahead of what comes from tomorrow. Largely, I take light-hearted sessions with lot of jokes, but this is a very serious issue, so I'm a bit careful about being light-hearted. So starting with our first speaker, Sudhakarji, Dr. Sudhakar again, and he also succeeds another MBBS doctor in his place. Would you like to sit or you prefer to stand? Yeah, it's your choice. And maybe in 10 minutes we can conclude it. Thank you.
In the meantime, the presentation is being put on screen. Let me start. I am Dr. Sudhir Kohokade, Deputy Director General representing DG Shipping. As you must be aware, DG Shipping is an apex administrative interface and the maritime authority for the entire nation, with the primary responsibility to protect and further the India's maritime interest. Today I have been asked to present on speak on roadmap for India's logistic and trade growth, role of technology, infrastructure and innovation in achieving the logistic growth, and role of technology, infrastructure and innovation in achieving the Viksit Bharat, with special emphasis on multimodal logistic and national logistic policy, with specific insight on the logistics service provider and custom broker. So can we have the first slide, please? This is our Director General's message for the FFI. As we are just, DG Shipping also shares the vision of working towards the multimodal logistic and supporting the skill development, particularly through inclusive program that empower youth and women goals, which are aligned with the FFI Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana 4.0. So we congratulate FFI for having this shared vision and also for making this making this platform for the multimodal logistic. I shall be just going ahead, I shall be just going through first 5-6 slides about what is the logistic scenario which is presently seen in India. This is Amritkal Vision 2047. These are the 11 themes across which we are just being logistic sectors, and all themes are covered, which gives about the Vision 2047. One of the key themes which are pertaining to DG Shipping and in general for the logistic is enhancing modal share of the coastal shipping, inland water transport, enhancing the India's tonnage, and of course the efficiency through technology, innovation, and providing a maritime professional services. This is what we are just 2047, which we are basically seeing US 26 trillion economy, and we are perhaps in the medium term we are looking for the fastest growing large economy. This is just the view which I just wanted to share. What we aim towards is reduction of the logistic costs from 13% to 14% of the GDP, 8 to 10% of the GDP by 2030, and we are estimated that a 10% of reduction in the indirect logistic cost will result into 5 to 8% of rise in exports. This is in global comparison, which I have tried to give. These are the basic bottlenecks which we are coming into the supply chain. I'm just rushing through because time is 10 minutes. Yes. Now this is the role of DG Shipping. I will be starting from what we meant by what is our role of DG Shipping in logistics. It is multimodal logistic, transport supervision to ensure an economic and safe transit and transshipment, augmentation of Indian shipping tonnage, development of coastal tonnage, and various measures. I'll walk you through the various measures which we have tried for making this logistics sector vibrant and efficient. And in the last, I have summed up with the role of freight forwarders into the entire logistics supply chain and their significance. These are the acts which are being administered by DG Shipping: Merchant Shipping Act 1958, Multimodal Transportation of Goods Act 1993, which is read with rules. Merchant Shipping Bill, perhaps I think 2025, you must be aware, it is in the Parliament and it is being examined by the Standing Committee. So in that act, I'll be taking you through what are the reforms which are being undertaken or proposed into this Merchant Shipping Bill in the next subsequent slides. As you are aware, multimodal transport refers to seamless movement of goods using multiple modes of transportation such as road, rail, air, sea under a single contract. It integrates various transport modes into single cohesive supply chain and offering flexibility, cost effectiveness and reliability. So Now I am going for a strategic context and alignment as it is pertinent to mention that MMTG Act is also being undertaken for review. There are certain operational issues, there are certain policy issues which are being worked out. Presently, what we are feeling that there is this MMTG framework need to be harmonized into what is called as, there is certain overlap between the Ministry of Port and Ministry of Commerce. So there is a overlap between the jurisdiction of Ministry of Ports and Ministry of Commerce, which now in this MMTG revision, we are taking it for a clear demarcation between the processes, responsibilities for efficient governance and regulations. I'll now go with the certain other features from the logistic perspective. It is about the maritime single window, as it is an one-stop service environment that covers maritime and port administrative procedure, such as port entry, departure declaration, notice of security reports, as well as port call business information and other related information. Basically, this is one of the initiative which is being taken by DG Shipping in compliance with the FAL Convention, which is one of the obligation of the International Monetary Organization. So this is in nutshell in line of the ease of doing business, where there are various 6 FAL forms which are required, and these are on the screen what is being shown are the stakeholders which can be onboarded so that there is efficient discharge of services, and it is basically paperless, and it saves a lot of time and increases the operational efficiency. So with this maritime single window, we are trying to achieve the efficiency, transparency, and also the turnaround time is significantly reduced, increasing our global competitiveness. Now, national logistic policy is one of the pillar which again I have been asked to talk about. So these are why we required a national logistic policy. It is about the 90% of our unorganized logistics sector is there, and we have to reduce this India's logistic cost so that we can achieve our dream of Viksit Bharat 2047. This is this is actually multimodal logistic. I tried to encompass basic 4 pillars of the national logistic policy. So you must be aware, it is about first pillar of national logistic policy is about infrastructure development and modernization of the port. Second is policy support and regulatory alignment, and workforce development and promotion of digitization and automation. Of course, there is a focus on sustainable logistics. So these are the 4 pillars on which we are trying to develop our national logistic policy. National logistic policy is based on these 4 pillars. There is also National Maritime Logistic Portal. Yeah, this is National Logistic Portal, which is also a single window digital platform for all maritime stakeholders, where we are trying to get this. This is also a mobile app, and where all the stakeholders are coming on a platform. It has all login and service catalog, all modules are available. Again, a handy tool for making sure all information is available to all stakeholders on a click of the mobile. This is what we are, again, at increasing tonnage, which is again one of the important parameters, one of the initiatives, one of the statutory functions of the DG Shipping. We are trying to achieve this by these means. We are giving the financial assistance for shipbuilding. It is also a revision of criteria for right of first refusal. Again, promoting Indian companies, Indian shipping companies, subsidy support to the Indian shipping companies, and again, a draft notification on regulation of VSA. We are again, this is another measure where we are trying to promote the logistic in India, coastal shipping. As you are aware, coastal shipping is the transport of cargo as a business and shipping within 20 nautical miles of coastline. Coastal shipping allows ship to travel between the main ports of country and helpful for the domestic trade as well as transporting people within the country. It has got distinct advantages in terms of efficiency, cost saving, and environmental friendliness. Apart from heavy and oversized bulk cargo can also be moved. In this case also, we are trying to make various bilateral coastal agreements with BIMSTEC countries, trying to promote the coastal shipping, and it has been the results are very encouraging. These issues, there is a session in the afternoon, so I won't be touching on those, but then these are also the parameters of, this is also one of the flagship program, perhaps Vag sir would be talking about it. It is about the Sagamala program. It is about the reducing logistic cost for EXIM and enhancing domestic waterways, creating job, lowering the logistic cost. We are linking all the ports along the Indian coastline through this program. It is one of the flagship program of Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways. These are the pillars which I'll be skipping for want of time. Again, this PM Gati Shakti Master Plan, it is again a program of the vision of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. It has got basically 7 engines which I have tried to capture here. There are basically 7 pillars of Gati Shakti program, which includes rail, roads, port, waterways, airport, mass transport, and logistic infrastructure. This is the slide about ultimately at the end of my presentation, where what we have been talking about Vision 2047 is about, if we sum up the Gati Shakti, which includes multimodal, freight corridor, shipping, airways, railways, road, plus our national logistic, which will sum up within the vision of 2047, which includes the better regulatory framework, and also digitalization of the logistic will help us to achieve this vision. This is what being India's maritime sector in next few decades, which we are seeing 12% of the modal share, global leadership, and again we would be eyeing for the shipbuilding and ship repair, and again ship recycling leader. Again, this is what is role of ship forwarder. Of course, everybody is aware the purpose of putting this slide is not about the role, but about the rationale of the ship forwarder into the entire logistics sector. Their experience, knowledge into the international transport sector, and international coverage about the wide networks of the partner. And also they are responsible for managing all aspects related with the transportation, allowing companies to save time and cost in managing their transport operation. These merits of the freight forwarder has an immense role to be played into the logistics sector. So in conclusion, I believe what we require is a holistic legal revamp, and not just the minor changes which we are doing through the reforms of the MMTG Act and also the Merchant Shipping Bill 2025. We also need to incorporate the digital compliance and international standard, and we required a structured approach in consultation with FFI and member associations, stakeholders, and a better coordination. Thank you. Thank you all. If, of course, FFI are almost welcome for their any queries, respond. These are the email IDs which they can very well contact us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed a very comprehensive cover-up. Thanks. And I think what we discussed is a starting point. And you will have to give us a lot of time and allow us to chew your brain. We really follow up heavily and we interact very strongly, but in a very cooperative manner.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Now we have the most sought-after speaker in the world. Turgut is a popular speaker, a visionary, and head of the largest organization in the logistics sector. So Turgut, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Shantanu, for this nice introduction. Shantanu and I were working for FIATA in the Sea Freight Working Group for many, many years, and I also have learned, like all of you in here, from him a lot. So it's a great honor for me to speak before you in this fantastic convention. India, with its rich heritage, I think is the perfect setting for the motto of this event, which is global confluence. I speak to you today not only as the president of FIATA, but as a partner on our shared journey towards stronger and more connected logistics community. Let me begin with an inspiration from one of India's most extraordinary cultural gathering, the Mahakumbh Mela at Prayagraj. I'm sure all of you know, but this is something new for me, that it is every 12 years, it draws millions to the Triveni Sangam, the meeting point of the Ganga, Yamuna, and mythical Saraswati rivers. There, in a powerful display of devotion, people unite in search of spiritual liberation. This sacred confluence beautifully symbolizes how diversity can come together in harmony and strength. Just as the rivers converge at the Kumbh Mela, we too have gathered from across the continents for this global confluence. Our industry is a meeting point of trade routes, transport modes, and more than that, the cultures. Let us embrace this unity with humility and cooperation, tackling global logistics challenges together as a pilgrim of this progress. It is especially meaningful at a time when Indian nation is surging ahead with bold economic ambitions. Under the leadership of your Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, India has articulated a powerful Vision 2047, a vision of developed, prosperous nation. As India approaches 100 years of independence, this vision is extremely important for the development. I believe the logistics sector will be at the heart of that development, because development is very much related to the foreign trade of India. In recent years, India export momentum has sustained an impressive pace. By 2030, India aims to have 2 trillion in exports, half of it being service industry. In the past few years, India has launched a comprehensive upgrade of both hard and soft infrastructure. Gati Shakti, the National Master Plan for Multimodal Connectivity, Bharat, the project to improve country's road infrastructure, Sagarmala initiative aimed at promoting port-led development, air cargo modernization, and it is very important to have digital customs processes and trade facilitations. 2 pioneering initiatives needs a special mention. One of them is Unified Logistics Interface Platform, ULIP, and the Logistics Data Bank, LDB. These digital platforms are game changers, working like a brain of a smart supply chains. These projects reflect a vision to position the country as a logistics global hub. Ladies and gentlemen, we reflect on India's strides. We also reaffirm FIATA's mission and how it complements India's efforts. FIATA, the International Federation of Freight Forwarders Association, has long been the voice of freight logistics in global scale, striving to connect, support, and represent our community of freight forwarders. FIATA's main objectives can be summarized in 5-fold: to unite the freight forwarding industry globally, to represent, promote, and protect its interest in international forums, to educate the public about our services, to standardize and improve the quality of logistics services, and to assist in training and adoption of electronic commerce tools. In simple terms, we connect, we advocate, and we elevate. While doing so, we work closely with international organizations like International Maritime Organization, World Customs Organization, World Trade Organization, ICAO, United Nations, European Union, FMC, and many others. We ensure policies and regulations consider the needs of our industry, and we enable innovation by spreading knowledge and training through FIATA diplomas, young logistics professional programs, and initiatives to drive digital adoption. As the Global Freight Forwarding Federation, FIATA fosters dialogue and collaboration across all modes of transport. The speaker before me was discussing about the importance of multimodal transportation. FIATA is the representative of multimodal transportation. We are the only association in the world representing all four transport modes: air, road, rail, and sea. And we also combine these transport modes, and we offer multimodal transport solutions to our clients. Again, while doing so, we are working together with different organizations: IATA in the air, IRU in the road, BIMCO in the sea, and then UIC in rail transportation. They are our strategic partners for development. And again, together with the digital improvements in our ecosystems, we have introduced recently FIATA Digital Multimodal Bill of Lading. You all know, I'm sure, the importance of multimodal transportation. Today, in all around the world, there is only one single negotiable multimodal transport bill of lading, which is FIATA Multimodal Transport Bill of Lading. And in the last 2 years, we have digitized we have introduced the electronic version of FIATA Multimodal Bill of Lading based on the standards introduced and even designed together with the United Nations. So I would very much encourage all of you in this room, as well as all the FFAI members, to include the use of digital FIATA Bill of Lading in your daily workflows. I know logistics companies are not that much proactive unless the pressure comes from our clients. However, this time, for the sake of efficiency and effectiveness of our system, this time we should go and knock their doors and introduce our digital solutions to them and introduce our digital bill of lading. I would like to speak a bit more about this digitalization journey, that it is a very important and bold step forward in the industry, that for the first time ever, a blockchain-secured digital FIATA bill of lading is used even in trade finance. We have used digital FIATA bill of lading for a shipment from Turkmenistan to Romania, and the letter of credit was negotiated in China by Bank of China, and it was very much smooth operation, and the transaction of the payment was done in a successful manner. So please don't wait, just go in it and start using. Today there are a number of important issues in our agenda. Sustainability and green logistics is at the forefront. Sustainability is not something for a marketing purpose, but it is a need in our industry today. We know the ships, the trucks, the planes, the rail are polluting the air. FIATA is now fully committed to green logistics solutions. Freight forwarders, the architects of transport chains, play a critical role in consolidating loads, optimizing routes, eliminating empty returns, and advising customers on greener choices. Logistics companies are also investing in carbon calculators and emission tracking. FIATA has created a resource of recommended carbon emission calculators for its members, and now we are developing a carbon offset tool for you, because tomorrow it is most likely that the competition will be shaped around offsetting your carbon footprint. The cost of carbon footprint, the cost of eliminating carbon footprint is not that cheap. It is a costly thing, and Fiata is working to bring some optimized solutions for you. Digitalization and the technology integration is another important tool that I have mentioned by mentioning our Fiata digital bill of lading. And then the resilience and supply chain disruptions. I think since COVID, we are seeing lots of external shocks to trade and logistics, be it environmental issues, geopolitical problems, even port closures due to accidents, or even the close of Suez Canal has taught us that we have to be resilient. We have to be resilient for external shocks to our industry. So this involves strategies like diversification of sourcing and routing, maintaining buffer stock for critical goods, and improving real-time visibility to react faster. I note that building resilience requires collaborative approach. No single company or country can do it alone. We need increased cooperation between governments and industry to keep goods moving during crisis. So each of these priorities, green logistics, digital transformation, resilient supply chains, managing geopolitical impacts, are not easy. They are complex. But Fiata is committed to empowering our members to tackle them head-on. We do so by providing guidance, training, standards, and a unified voice. Together as a united global community of logistics professionals, we can progress on all these fronts. I hear the bell. Thank you, Shantanu. So let me close my remarks by quoting a great poet, Rabindranath Tagore. He once wrote, "You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water." So we have to take action. In that spirit, let us act, let us join hands across oceans and truly cross new horizons together. Global confluence is not just the theme of this convention, it is a call to action for the future of freight forwarding. I would like to thank FAI for this excellent event, and thank you very much.
One of the reasons why I'm attracted to Fiata is in India, we are accustomed to say that logistics in India is unorganized. Yes, some part of logistics is organized, and I want people to correct their impression, particularly my colleagues, to correct the impression of everyone that some part of logistics is unorganized. On the other hand, one part is highly organized. We are organized locally, regionally, nationally, and internationally. That is why we participate in all global forums. If you take policy advocacy, I think Fiata, FAI, is at the forefront of policy advocacy. We meet more ministries than any association or chamber of commerce. And we are part of every chamber of commerce. So logistics in India, yes, everything in India has two sides. And this is, one side is we are highly organized, and yes, there is a segment which is not organized. Similarly, lot of good things happen in India, lot of good things are yet to happen in India, and one of the best things that has happened is Vande Bharat. People in India, including our friends, and when we travel, we are amazed by what Vande Bharat offers to the people. And that's a living example of our success and progress. We have none other than Dr. Sudhanshu Mani to have this inspiring journey of Vande Bharat, and he will also lead us to the freight part of it, which is of greater interest to us. Doctor, floor is yours.
Very grateful that I have this opportunity to talk to you all logistics experts. Indian Railways, you may have your own grouse. You may love it, like it, hate it. It's not an organization you can ignore in our country. So I have many caveats, but because there's a shortage of time, I'll only go with one. So Mr. Moderator tells me that I have 10 minutes. What he forgets is that I am a railway man for life, and being derailed is my inherent right. So let's see how much I can keep to time and not let your session be derailed. In The Merchant of Venice, Portia at one stage says that if to do were as easy as to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches and poor man's cottages, princesses' palaces. In the same vein, it's not my place to come to you experts and tell you what needs to be done and so on. I'll only stick to a little bit of what I was able to accomplish thanks to a wonderful team which was always bequeathed to me. We are in Amrit Kal, and we are going to be developed, I do believe, by 2047. How inclusive it is going to be is the only question. So all the romance, legacy, history of Indian Railways, you remember that scramble for the window seat as the wonder of India passed you by, desolate here, crowded there, celebration, joy, mourning, pathos, hard work, grind, indolence, sloth, and so on. But I'm not here to talk to you about that. I am here to talk to you a little bit about why it was always a dream and an angst as to, in spite of having such a large network with such a pool of engineers, why is it that India's trains look the same? Why not an aesthetically superior, modern, speedier, technologically advanced train? And that became the seed of the story, which I have to cover in very short. It's all about the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So as you know, when this government took charge, Make in India was supposed to make India the factory of the world, a manufacturing hub. Some successes, some failures. Came COVID, and it was transformed rejigged into Atmanirbhar Bharat. Again, many successes, I would say more failures, but nevertheless, I'm not going to talk about that, but the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is important to my mind. So everything that moves on our train, on tracks, trains, locomotives, cranes, whatever, is all manufactured in India. Practically nothing is sourced from abroad, but the brain is not Indian. It is a technology which has come to us from France or Japan or US or Germany or someplace. Transfer of technology, to my mind, is an oxymoron because it is not amenable to transfer. Technology is a creation which lives in the mind and the heart of the creator. There is no way to transfer that. Mere sher aina khane mein teri beshumar adaon ke. I can go poetic about your beauty. Mere sher aina khane mein teri beshumar adaon ke. Magar aisi bhi hai koi ada jo rahegi सीना राज में. There is some element of the beauty which will remain buried in the recesses of my heart. Nobody is going to give access to that. And so we are stuck between being mindlessly global and hopelessly local. The truth, to my mind, is somewhere closer to being local, not hopelessly local, hopefully local. So unless the gap is too large, and there are areas where the gaps are too large, if the gap is not too large, it is up to us to beg, borrow, steal, adapt, whatever, but stamp it with our creativity, and with that comes ownership, and with ownership comes pride, and it is that pride that can make you do 120, 130% more than what you are otherwise capable of. That simply, in a nutshell, was the story of Train 18, a team of Integral Coach Factory Chennai, of like-minded people, no hierarchy from top to down, who wanted to give the country a 180 kilometers per hour train without locomotives, with all the equipment mounted under the board and all area above the board for passenger amenities, and something that is the norm the world over for 25, 30 years, but we had only been talking, and there was procrastination and indecision, and that's what we wanted to give to the country which it wanted to wait for. That's the origin. Let me jump. So there we were, ready, the team was ready, the vision, they had chutzpah. They had ennui doing more of the same through transfer of technology, had the chutzpah, the audacity to do something new. All I needed was to channelize it. There was one doubt, and that doubt was that we may design it. We are not going for technology transfer. We make it our own, and it's never been done earlier. If it fails, then who's the scapegoat? If it succeeds, we'll all bask in that glory. And that's when I said that I am the first one to retire in 21 months. You'll all still be here. Which better scapegoat can you find than me? What can they do to a retired person? They of course tried, but that's another matter. The problem is only of how we define success. So you do something, there is an outcome of value, and that's success. I think that's wrong. You do something, you give it your passion, your hard work, your commitment, your life, you have succeeded. The outcome is not always in your hands. You may fail once, you may fail twice, but it's only a stepping stone. And if you're giving that to any project, there's no way you're going to fail in the long run. As my uncle Shakespeare has said, that our doubts are traitors which make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. गिरते हैं शह सवार ही मैदान जंग में, वो तिफल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले. So we'll all be mounted soldiers and give to the country what it's waiting for. So that was the story. It was just a train. It was not Mangalyaan or Chandrayaan. I was in DRDL 3 days back and awestruck by what these people have achieved there. Simple, modest people invited me to talk to them about, I said, I'm a trained fellow talking to you, missile fellows who have shown to the world what Indians can do. But nevertheless, not a missile or a rocket or a spacecraft or a Chandrayaan or a Mangalyaan. Why did it get so much of appreciation from the country as such? So we still don't have the answer. I think it was the first time everyone in India, traveler, non-traveler alike, looked at it with some pride that this was made by Indians for Indians. And the Prime Minister himself covers it beautifully. He's there to launch each and every train. What respect he has given to a train is unprecedented. And he says that the train represents the spirit of aspirational and resurgent India. And that said, coming to the second part, which I'll cover very, very quickly because you're all experts, not my place to speak about it. Reduction of logistics cost from whether it's 14% or 9% or whatever, it has to be predicated on traveling by, on use of rail, because it's not only, if we compare with road truck, about 8 to 12% cleaner and cheaper. It's inevitable. That's why logistics and rail is inevitable. That said, what's happening in spite of the DFC and with a lot of freight traffic getting diverted there, what's actually happening is our share has gone down to nearly 25%. It's not increasing. They're supposed to take it to 45%. It's going down by 1% every year. Our originated freight loading has grown by 1.7%. In an economy which is growing by 6 to 7%, this should be going up by 10 to 12%. And that too, by carrying 6 to 7% more coal, the polluting fuel, which will not be with us for long. So some serious introspection is required, and it is to be done by railways. It's railways cannot be in the cocoon that customers will come to it. They have to go to the customers, understand what they need. I will not go too much into detail. I intended to, but let me only give two examples of what imaginative thinking can, little out of the box, couple of ideas which may sound funny today is, you see, as you can see, previous slide, I'm sorry. Anyway, so you see the percentage, balance other goods, which is roughly more than 50% of all the freight carried. India carries 4 to 5%, Indian Railways. And that's also not increasing. Unless they attack that area, that logistics cost and railways' own freight loading is not going to go up. Two, if you can call it out-of-the-box ideas, and then I'll close. So when you go to book a ticket in the Rajdhani Express or Vande Bharat Express, the counter fellow doesn't tell you that bring a train load, then I'll give you a ticket. But if you want to book a wagon load, they'll tell you to book a whole train. This was fine in 80s when Mr. Gujral brought in the unit rate, and that sustained us so long for bulk traffic. But the future is in non-bulk, and is it so out of place to run a timetable freight train where you can book a wagon? Start it. Maybe it will not go full initially, but I can assure you, and I guess you'll agree, if you run a service like that, it's going to attract customers, because you may save 5-10% carrying goods from A to B, but if there is multiple handling at A and B and there is a last mile cost of carriage, that 5-10%, 15% saving is not going to attract freight forwarders, because, and that too, when there is no timetable, there's no assurance. So that's one. And for non-bulk container traffic, good work has been done in the auto sector. You know, the taller wagons, taller automobile carriers, in association with automobile manufacturing. That's one example what can be done. I'm closing by giving you example of these two products. As you know, double stack containers were started some 15 years back by a very enterprising railwayman called Naresh Kumar, my junior from Railways. Now he manufactures containers. On certain route, a double stack container was permitted, which was non-electrified at that time. DFC, the OHE, height has been raised so double stack can be carried. He came up with this idea of the dwarf container, which can be carried all over Indian Railways in 2 stacks. And look at the throughput that can be increased with this. About 1,000 such containers are in service already. And such ideas are going to take it forward. The other one is the cube container, which is higher, as you can see in the sketch above, than regular containers. And 6 of them can be carried on a wagon. On a 40-foot truck, 6 of them can be carried. Handling is so easy, a simple forklift can carry them. And these are the ideas which have to come. Rest, of course, you all know about. I won't go into that. Special wagon designs, better tariff regulation, local capability. Today, everything is decided by railway board. That's not going to work in the long run. Timetable trains, as I said, and so many other things which I'm sure would be talked about. But use of railways is inevitable if the logistics cost has to come down. Thank you very much.
It was a very scintillating delivery. Thanks. We can see you are highly motivated. And now we have a person who wears 3 big hats, and I don't know how many more he wears. The most important port he heads, Nhava Sheva. He is building the biggest port in India, and he is also in charge of Chabar, and there is a big list. Sir, we are very eager to see, and this is why like this is Vadvan is not for us. It's for our next generation. It's for years to come. So that's very inspiring, and the floor is yours, sir.
Good morning. We all are in Goa, and Goa reminds us about the spirit but Mr. Turgut took us to the spirituality in the morning. Sudhir ji covered most of the policy aspect. And then we also learned about the journey of the most attractive and the most fascinating train. He also talked about the dwarf container. To start with the subject, JNPA is the first port who supported Mr. Naresh in his dream about these dwarf containers. We tried our best, though it did not materialize, but we have not lost hope. I think in future also we will able to carry it forward. Sir, you talked about you have right that you can take extra time. But in shipping sectors particularly, turnaround time is very important. So, lesser is a stay at berth, better is the port. And JNPA has world's one of the best turnaround time. So my stay at this podium will be within 10 minutes. So I have 3-4 topics to cover. I will touch upon them. And then during our interaction, during the day, my team is here. Mr. Gurav, Mr. Thomas, Shashank, they are all here. So in case you want to know much more about it, you can talk to them so that you can have more information about that. First, I represent the India's one of the most busiest port, and I am very happy to announce today that now JNPA is the first port of India which has 10 million TEUs capacity. And being a public port, we have our own limitations, but we understand those limitations and we move forward within those limitations. All our projects are all in time. Mr. Sudhir ji said the Vadhavan port is for future. No, sir. The Vadhavan port is for present. The people sitting here, they will see Vadhavan port within 5 years. In JNPA, to make our ecosystem more efficient, traffic, we have enhanced capacity because this year we use 97% of our capacity. But to take care of the future need, we added 2.4 million TEUs capacity. So now we have 10.1 million TEUs capacity, which will be further enhanced to 10.4. Now, as I said, it is not our business that makes us JNPA what it is today. It is our social and sustainable policies which are very important, and that's why it is ranked very highly in world port ranking. We are going for the shore power which doesn't have good IRR, but still we are moving ahead, investing 600 crore, so that in next 2 years, JNPA will be the first port who will have all its terminal equipped with the shore power. No port in Asia has done this. To make the ecosystem more efficient, we have already planned about the evacuation of the traffic. We are planning redundancies. We are also going for the cement silos so that dust-free environment will be in JNPA, and the turnaround time of the cement vessels will be reduced to half. Operation Sindoor and the use of drone, still fresh in memory. We have already started anti-drone, and to enhance the efficiency, to predictive analysis, we have also gone for the digital twin. The empty container is the biggest issue because this is a freight forwarder association's conference, and JNPA is recently in a bad news because of that. So we are creating 1 million TEUs capacity of empty yard within 2 years in JNPA. We have already finalized the bidder. Now coming back to the Vadhavan port, as I said, Vadhavan port, just to give those who are not aware of it, it will be the 7th largest port of the world. It will have 9 container terminal, 4 multipurpose terminal, 4 liquid berths, 1 ro-ro, 1 for Coast Guard. It will have 20-meter deep draft so that any vessel which is more than 24,000 TEUs can call on to this particular port. This will be green port since its inception. Honorable Prime Minister has laid the foundation stone of this particular port on 30th of August. The construction have already started, and we, as per schedule, we are almost 6 months before the schedule. So as I said, we will complete and the first vessel call on to this particular port in 29-30. As far as all the tenders and other things are concerned, they are already issued. The connecting road 248S is declared as a national highway, and the land acquisition process has almost complete. In the same area, the bullet train, the DFC, the Delhi-Mumbai expressway, the land acquisition process took more than 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. We took only 4 months to complete the same process. The speed with which this particular port is moving ahead, I have no doubt that today we are 6 months ahead. There is a possibility that we can cover some more ground and the first vessel come much earlier. Now, the port, as you are all working on various ports, the problem with ports, the processes. We have 12 major ports and 200 non-major ports. The processes at each port are different. So the biggest problems are faced by the FFI, BCBA, vessel agent, and all other people. So what we decided, let's have our house in order first. So all the ports should have similar processes. So this exercise we started in November last year. What happened? Because the processes are different at different ports, there is a lot of confusion. Then because of that confusion, there is many times we miss the vessel or we miss the consignment. Another issue is that because of that, the cost also increases. And the most important aspect, when we connect our ports to the global other ports, when they go to different ports, they have to undergo different processes. So that creates anomaly. So we decided to reduce these inefficiencies, the confusion, the supply chain disruption, and the increased cost. This one nation, one process has been launched. So what we did already, we mapped the document, identified and mapped them, then we gave them unique number, and then we compared it with the various major ports and reduced and then agreed upon certain minimum documents. Then once we agreed on that, we had a meeting with all the ports, they agreed to that. Then we started process re-engineering. Whether some documents have some information already covered in other documents, so we should not use them. Then we did the codification. And this is the outcome. which we envisaged, and some of the targets we have already achieved. So now we are going for the container and bulk processes re-engineering so that we can further reduce the documents and also streamline the processes. One important aspect of this one nation, one processes is that when you have your team placed at the various ports, you can use the same manpower for different ports, because that scalability will be there once all the ports adopt is one nation and one process. And the last one is the advantage Chabar. This, since 2002, we were trying to have a long-term agreement with the Iran government, but we could succeed in May 2024 when we signed the long-term agreement. Now, our presence will be there for next 10 years at least. We have already equipped that particular port. This port will be the gateway for the Iran and Central Asia, because you don't have to go into the Hormuz Strait. It has a deep draft. We have given various discounts at Chabar port. Now, Mr. Raju Salve is here. He is starting one vessel. So from next month, we will have one dedicated vessel from Chabar to Kandla and then to Mumbai, so that there will be at least one vessel of fixed timetable will be available at Chabar. In JNPA, in Kandla, in other major ports, we are offering vessel-related charges discount so that we can use this particular opportunity to enter into the Central Asia through the Chabar. And the last is the India Middle East European Corridor, IMEC. In G20, Honorable Prime Minister has launched this initiative. These are the stakeholders and these are the objective. We have moved much ahead in this initiative also, and we have signed now Kandla Port, Jain Port, Abu Dhabi Port and Jebel Ali Port signed an agreement where a Maitri master application in international trade and regulation has been launched. So we are connecting these ports with the ports in UAE, so that the documents once shared at Jain Port, you don't have to share at Jebel Ali. They will be automatically shared in that particular port. And this way, this particular corridor, once reached at UAE, it can further taken to the other Asian and European nations. So there are challenges in this particular initiative, but definitely we are moving ahead much fast. And once it is integrated, there are a lot of spin-off of this particular program, so that we can be integrated to the Gulf and European market, in not only digitally, but with the infrastructure and with other initiatives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And as you said, we know why the turnaround of ships at JNPT is so punctual, and so are other activities as we expect. Now, Sambashiva Rao, can you sum up the proceedings? He is our Vice Chairman.
Respected Shantanu sir, the moderator of the session, a knowledgeable person and well known to the industry, especially the logistics sector. I am very happy, sir, you have taken the lead, and I am very thankful to Dr. Sudeep. He has given the initiative of the Government of India, what he is taking, as per Viksit Bharat, what the Honorable Prime Minister is taking the lead, and all the sectors, it may be road, it may be the shipping, it may be air cargo, all the things, and port-led development, everything. Yes, you made very well, sir. Then we are thankful to our friend, Mr. Turgut, who already always, on behalf of VETA, came from Switzerland and participated in the event. We are very much thankful to you, sir. And we are very much thankful to our friend Dr. S. Mani, who is a leader and who is an innovator, who has the idea how to make especially the railway sector, something, a dynamic shift, especially reducing the speed, reducing the time in the sector, and the same time, it is a good opportunity for the people to cover instead of going by short distance, instead of going by flight, they are going by Vande Bharat trains with all the latest facilities, sir. We are very much proud of you. Then we are very much thankful to the dynamic chairman, Vadwan Port, sir. When people dream, yes, they dream big, they aim big, they achieve big. Achieving big is a role model of Vadwan Port in the country. We are very much thankful to you, sir, because this is the way we are very much thankful to Honorable Prime Minister, the way they are thinking about Viksit Bharat Vision 2047. Let us aim in each and every port what our port needs, how to reduce the logistic cost, how to improve not only the capacity within the port, even outside the port, how to evacuate 24/7, how to reduce the logistic cost. Then one way we have the problem, like it may be cost of funds and other things. At the same time, if you want to be international competitive, you must be competitive not only within the ports and outside the ports. End of the day, we must be competitive enough in the world market and see that our ports and our costs will be less, and we will be number 1, number 2, number 3 position, because right now we are in number 3, number 4 position. After that, after some time, why not be number 1 in the world market? This all can be happen with the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Vision 2047. We are very much thankful for the Triple FA for taking the lead and making this session a lively session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all to our panelists and our moderator for a phenomenal opening session filled with vision, insight, and inspiration. I now request our moderator, Shri Shantanu Bhatkamkarji, to kindly felicitate our panelists. May I now request Mr. Unmesh Wagji to kindly come forward. Mr. Unmesh Wagji, let's have a round of applause for Mr. Unmesh Wag, Chairman, JNPA. May I now request Dr. Sudhir Kokade, DDG Shipping, to please kindly come forward, and we would like to felicitate, sir. Let's have a round of applause, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, one round of applause once again, please. Thank you. May I now request Mr. Turgut to please come forward. Mr. Turgut, President of FIATA. May I request Mr. Sudhanshu Maniji, creator of Vande Bharat, to kindly come forward, and Shantanu ji to felicitate, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause, please. May I request Mr. Mr. Sambashiva Raoji to kindly felicitate our moderator for today's session, Mr. Shantanu Bhatkamkarji. May I request now our business session sponsor, Skyways Group. We request Skyways Group to please come forward, and we request our entire panelists to please come forward, and we would like to felicitate our business session sponsor for today's session. Friends, round of applause for Skyways Group. May I also request our tea and coffee sponsor, Master Marine Digitech MMD3. I request the team from Master Marine Digitech to please come forward on the stage. I would like to felicitate. Friends, round of applause for our tea and coffee sponsor, Master Marine Digitech. Thank you once again to all our distinguished guests on the dais.